Not long ago, Silver Palace opened their closed beta test 2 and for the first time revealed its gacha system. And naturally, one of the biggest questions that everyone has is how does the summoning actually work? Is there 50-50? Is there pity carryover? And how generous is the weapon banner? So today we're going to break down everything in the most simplest way possible so that by the end of this video you'll understand exactly how every banner works. And let's jump right into it. First, let's talk about the limited character banner. Every summon in Silver Palace costs 360 premium currency, and the limited banner uses what is most popularly known as the spark system. In simpler terms, this means that the banner has a 100 pull hard pity. If you hadn't obtained the featured 5-star character before then your 100th pull is guaranteed to be that character. So unlike some other gacha games where you might lose your 50-50s before getting what you want, Silver Palace guarantees the featured character by your 100th pull. Now, that doesn't mean that you always need 100 pulls to get a character. You can absolutely get the featured character at a much earlier point in time. For example, when I pulled for Cinderella during CPT2, I got her on my 73rd pull, and here's the clip. So what exactly are the summon rates? The featured 5-star has a 0.8% base rate. Meanwhile, all the limited and standard 5-star characters on the banner share a combined 1.8% total 5-star rate. What this means is that while you're trying to get the limited character, there's always a chance that you'll pull one of the standard 5-star characters instead before reaching your pity. Here's where many people can be confused.
Isn't this supposed to be a spark system? Why does it sound like there's a 50-50?
Well, no, it's not a 50-50 system. Those were simply just the character drop rates. There isn't a mechanic where losing a standard character means you have to start another full pity cycle. Instead, if you haven't pulled the featured character early, the game simply guarantees them on your 100th pull. Another question I've seen popping up a lot on our beta test gameplay livestream, it's whether your pity carries over between banners. And thankfully the answer is yes. If you stop summoning before reaching 100 pulls, your pity will be saved and will transfer to the next limited character banner. For example, let's say you're sitting at 99 pity, but you decide to skip the current character. When the next limited banner arrives, your very first pull will immediately trigger the 100 pull spark and guarantee the new featured character. And yes, the same logic will also apply to weapon banners. That is a huge advantage for players who like planning ahead. Now here's another point. Can you get the featured character early? You absolutely can. You can obtain them at any point before reaching 100 pulls. However, you can also pull standard 5-star characters before reaching your pity. But like I said, pulling one does not reset your pity. Your pity will only reset when you obtain the featured limited character. So if you pull multiple standard characters while climbing towards 100 pulls, you're still getting closer to your guaranteed featured unit, which is one of the biggest differences compared to many other gacha systems. Now let's move on to the weapon banner. The weapon banner is very similar to the character banner, but there are two major differences. First, the hard pity is 80 pulls instead of 100, and just like the character banner, pity carries over between banners and it resets once you obtain the featured weapon. The second difference here is that the weapon banner does have a 50-50 system. Okay, wait, before you raise your guns and pitchforks, do hear me out first. So before reaching 80 pity, every time you obtain a 5-star weapon, there's a 50% chance it's the featured weapon, and a 50% chance that it's a standard 5-star weapon. But if you lose that 50-50, you don't have to be worried. Your next 5-star weapon is guaranteed to be the featured one. And if you somehow hadn't obtained the featured weapon by 80 pulls, even after, for example, losing your 50-50 at around 60 pulls, your 80th pull is guaranteed to be the featured weapon. The summon rates are also identical to the character banner, where the featured weapon has a 0.8% base rate, while the total 5-star rate remains at 1.8%. Finally, let's talk about the standard banners. Both the standard character banner and the standard weapon banner follow the same rules. Each banner has an 80 pull pity, and every time that you obtain a 5-star before reaching pity, each standard character or weapon has an equal 33.3% chance of being selected. Pity will also carry over and reset whenever you obtain a 5-star, and the drop rates remain exactly the same as the limited banners. So once you've learned one banner, you've basically learned them all. And as kind of an overall conclusion, I think the gacha system for Silver Palace is actually pretty fair. Personally, I don't think the pity system is what will determine whether players will enjoy summoning in the long run. The bigger factor here is how much the premium currency that players can earn each patch. If active players can consistently earn about 70 to 80 pulls per version, I think most people will view the system relatively positive. Because at the end of the day, even the best pity system doesn't really matter much if players aren't given enough currency to actually reach it. But that's just my opinion. So what do you think about Silver Palace's gacha system? Do you like this box system? Or do you think they have potential to be more aggressive on cutting the price like NTE? Or are you still waiting to see how generous the launch and the patches coming along with it will be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe because I will be covering more Silver Palace news, guides, and in-depth videos as we get closer to launch. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the next video, dear viewer.